What do you think it feels like to be a hero? What does it take to be a hero? Is it being the good or compassionate? Or is it someone who foolishly follows orders from the higher ups? Well, no matter what it takes, in this story, a hero who once defeated a demon king dies due to traitors, and as a result, revenge is his only way to make them pay. This story begins in a kingdom called Kurz. A hero named Raul, whom the people loved, has finally killed the demon king, who's brought terror to everyone. However, instead of being treated as an honorable hero, he's seen tied up as he's now about to get his punishment. Wondering why? Well, it turns out that the royal princess named Victoria of the Kurz kingdom has grown to despise Raul for overtaking her popularity among people after defeating the demon king. She did give him a choice to marry her, and he should be spared. However, Raul declined the offer and is now subjected to execution. The people who once loved him have now turned against him, all because of the power that the princess holds. As a result, on his last breaths, Raul mutters and swears that he'll kill everyone in the same suffering that they have put him through. He promises to show them despair and agony on the day he comes back. The people around him then laugh it off. After all, how could a dead man possibly exact his revenge? Fast forward, Raul now wakes up in the brightest white place he has ever been. There he meets the goddess of love, who seems interested in him as well. It seems like Raul is a magnet for hot girls, huh? Raul, knowing that he can easily manipulate the love goddess, asks her to resurrect him to exact his revenge. 1 year later, back at the Kurz kingdom, Princess Victoria is seen preparing for a wedding parade with Count Emil. Before the event even started, one of her commanding knights from the Royal Order of Chivalry, named Sandler, suggested that the event should be postponed in the meantime while they investigate some unsettling matters happening in the kingdom. It is said that for the past month, there was an unknown attack that killed all of the princess's front guards, which has been making everyone anxious for the princess's safety. To add to that, there have also been some reports of an unknown disease spreading throughout the kingdom. People who are infected with the said diseases mutter the word, "Bless Her Highness the Princess," over and over again while they are delirious with a high fever. However, the princess couldn't care less for her people. Instead, she even went too far as to say that the Order of Chivalry and the people of the kingdom should be her shield, so her safety wouldn't be a matter of question. Little did she know some awful things would happen to her a few hours from now. On the way to the grand event, the son of Princess Auclair, Count Emile Auclair, is seen with Princess Victoria in a carriage. However, instead of seeing a sparkle of love in Victoria's eyes, she's rather irritated by the stupidity of the Count. However, such things are what's making her interested in Emile. Aside from being good looking, which is a plus, being a stupid and foolish husband that will be easily manipulated is what really matters to Victoria. This way, she can ensure that the power over the whole kingdom is hers and hers alone, even if they have a child. As they reach their destination, cheers from the people echo throughout the whole plaza. When Emile and Victoria are stating their vows to each other, the sound of blood splattering stops the event. Then, as Victoria turns her head, her eyes widen as she sees Raul all well and alive. Victoria can't seem to believe that Raul is in front of her. After all, she had witnessed him die through her orders. Raul then states that he has been resurrected from the depths of hell in order to get revenge on the people that betrayed him. But before he has reached this point, we must go back to the time he was in heaven. I mean, we can't possibly forget about the goddess of love who had sacrificed everything for Raul, right? Raul Evans had seen the goddess way back before he was even thrown into the world for the first time as a hero. The goddess of love seems to be so affectionate towards him that she is willing to do everything to make him hers. Even the time that Raul requested for her to send him back to Earth for revenge as well as for her to give him back his powers. Although it was a grave sin according to the law of the gods, the goddess of love nonetheless did what Raul requested, all because she was in love with him. Raul used the soft spot of the goddess to get what he wanted, and so he did. It's now just a matter of time before we know what will happen next. As Raul kissed the goddess as hard as anyone could imagine, the goddess tinkled in happiness. As a result, she then gives what Raul has requested. With a big smirk on his face, Raul is now one step closer to fulfilling his plans. As he says it will be the beginning of a new legend for the kingdom's hero. Raul is then reincarnated back to the nasty corrupt kingdom once again. There he was welcomed by the front guards. As he remembers how the front guards have slaughtered his men like animals, with his powers, he ended their lives in a flash. Now this explains who killed the front guards in the case that the Commander Knight has been investigating. During this time, Raul is able to hear about the princess's wedding parade. With an evil smile, he has now found the perfect place to exact his revenge on the royalty. It's been a month since Raul has been reincarnated from the brink of death, and since he has been waiting for this day patiently, he can't wait any longer to see the agony and suffering on the princess's face. But before anything happens to the princess, whom they see as the messenger of God, the Commander Knight jumps right in to protect her. The commander somehow believes that Raul is a demon that copied the appearance of the fallen hero. That said, to make the princess believe that it is indeed him, he moves closer to her with the most devilish look on his face. As the Order of Chivalry tries to stop him from doing any more harm to the princess, he cuts their heads off without even touching them. This made the whole plaza panic. When everyone rushes to escape in order to save their lives from the hands of Raul, Raul tells everyone to stay as he is about to show them a spectacular show worth watching involving the royal princess. People tried to flee, but it seemed like everyone was now under Raul's power as their feet froze to the ground. They then start telling Rawl that they are just ordinary people and have no affiliation with the princess. These statements made the princess angry to the point that she even asked the Commander Knight to slice off her legs just to save her. On the other hand, as Rawl sees Emil already peeing himself in the corner because of fear, he uses his powers to move the Count's body to hold the princess in place. And the next thing that happens shocks everyone, including me. Rawl removes the princess's red dress as he thinks it wouldn't complement the color of blood as much as a white one. With the princess's bosom on full display, the men from the audience can't seem to control themselves from fantasizing about it. Of course, this made the princess very angry towards Rawl. But that wasn't the main event yet. Rawl then reveals that since the princess is so eager to have a baby whom she can control to take over the throne, Rawl is doing her a favor by executing her plans as early as possible. However, the question is it Rawl who will be the father of the future royalty? Makes me wonder. Now to answer that, why don't we dive into the story more? While the princess mutters the words that no lowly individual can possibly touch her sacred body, the Commander Knight then tells Rawl to face them honorably. This word brings a wave of unforgettable memories for Rawl. Just about 1 year ago, before Rawl went on the quest to kill the Demon King, he stayed in a village called Makale. There he was able to get closer to everyone from the old to the young. And since he'll be the future hero of everyone, almost everyone in the village is excited about his comeback after he kills the Demon King. However, since Princess Victoria is a freaking devilish woman after Rawl gained so much popularity and respect from the people, she orders her knights to kill and torture everyone in the said village, all for the sole purpose of getting Rawl's reaction. Although the knights thought the princess's orders were unnecessary, they didn't really have any choice. After executing the villagers in the most horrible way possible, Rawl was in deep shock as he saw the current state of his village. The moment that he set foot on the land, he was captured by the kingdom's knights immediately. Now back to the present, as this flashback starts rushing to Rawl, the Commander Knight can't seem to compose herself as she tries to explain her side, stating that they didn't have any choice considering that the princess's orders must be followed no matter what. Rawl then uses his magical powers to increase the volume of the commander's voice for the people to hear. At that moment, everyone in the plaza is now made aware of the awful things that the princess has done. It turns out that the princess made it look like Rawl killed everyone in the village to make the people in favor of her. However, it seems like, as the old saying goes, the truth will always prevail. But all this drama isn't enough for Rawl, so he controls the commander's body once more and uses it to punch the hell out of the beautiful face of Princess Victoria. Now, with all the bruises and swelling on the princess's face, no one could ever possibly recognize her anymore. But it doesn't stop there yet, since we're about to dive into the juiciest part. Just before the subjugation of the Demon King, one of the closest people to Rawl, his sister with her unborn child and husband, bids him farewell as he goes on the mission. Little did Rawl know that this would be the last time he would ever see his sister. To make things worse, it seems like Princess Victoria really wanted to irritate and emotionally torture Rawl during this time that she even personally escorted Rawl to the church, which is supposed to be the sacred home of God, now covered in blood. There, the scent of the church was reeking of blood and flowers.